Okay. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic, Less Known Classic. This is episode number 2354. Is 54? No, it's 55. 2355 and Doubleshot 2249. It's Hulk and Iron Man for this one. But here's the thing about this first one. Now, the Iron Man book, it's the start of a new era, and Hulk is the end of an era. First we have is Invincible Iron Man, Volume 1, Demon in Armor. Interesting title. I'm sure that's probably a nod to the classic storyline, Demon Battle. This book collects the first 6 issues of Invincible Iron Man. I think this is volume... I'm trying to think. This is volume 4, I believe it is. Yes, but you gotta get this is maybe the 10th Iron Man #1 book, probably. Yeah, Gary Duggan does the writing for this book, and the artwork in this book is done by Juan Ferruggi for the first 5 issues. Issue 6 is Andre DeVito. Now, in these issues, basically, Tony Stark's life has been falling apart. He has lost his company. He's lost his fortune. Fortune, they do explain how the heck he lost that. He apparently bought a whole bunch of weapons, mass destruction to get out of people's hands. So that's why he ran out of money. He apparently he also lost his company, Stark Unlimited, which was something that was started back during Dan Slott's run for the book. Yes. Which he's no longer... And also we get a bit of a follow-up here to, of all things, the opening story of Jonathan Hickman's run for Avengers, where they bring back one of the aliens in that book, which I thought that was kind of weird. Apparently, he is taken over as new CEO of Stark Unlimited. Like, okay. So, also, Iron Man's got a brand new armor in here. This is Iron Man Armor Mark 70. Which, you look at it like, yeah, it's a take on the classic suits, which, interesting. Riri is a supporting character in this book. I'm like, really? Ironheart is a supporting character in an Iron Man book. She's not the start of the Iron Man book. She's not the start of her own book, which I kind of wish she had another one, because that book is actually really good. Here, she's basically a supporting character, helping out Tony. He's staying with her. Now, the whole thing is that there's this mysterious person that tried to ruin his life, and it turns out it's actually him. So, we got a recap, basically, Tony Stark, as basically here's how he got here. There's also referencing here to the events of what happened in X-Men Red with Archilo. It's this alien right here. Yeah, apparently he's one of the aliens from that opening story arc. Which, yeah, then of course his brown thing gets destroyed. And of course, basically, where Rhodey's in the book, kind of, and along with She-Hulk. Yeah, She-Hulk is in the book. Yeah, and She-Hulk, and here's something interesting about She-Hulk. I at least got to praise the fact that, from what I can tell anyways, comes to She-Hulk, I think they are keeping with, from what I can tell, of how her office is from her own solo series, because it's still in the closet thing, which good on Duggan for recognizing the fact that either, this is my personal theory of how the heck this is accomplished, he probably contacted Rambo Rowell, who was the writer of She-Hulk, and asked her basically, or at least maybe the artist who worked on the book, hey, we know She-Hulk is working for a law firm. Do you have any idea what her office looks like? And, well, here it is. This is exactly what it looks like in the book, which, kudos. So, yeah, I've been basically working. And, of course, they do mention apparently what happened to Sarah, the place he used to own. Like, apparently, Avengers managed to back me a sleazy hotel again. Not sure why. And how the heck got rebuilt, which is completely questionable to me, because last time anybody saw it, it got destroyed in No Surrender. Yes, and by the way, the person who owned the property was Johnny Storm, who bought it with the money left to him by Reed Richards. And it's like, that's completely forgotten about. Like, what? Yeah, and by the way, they do bring up the fact that apparently he used to own Stark Tower. Yeah. The Avengers Tower was brought up in here, the original one. The one Tony used to own. Which I'm like, that's interesting. I did not expect that. Ironheart doesn't show up to issue 2 of the book. So, and then we see Return of the Living Laser, who probably blames Tony for imprisoning him. Now, Living Laser, this is quite interesting. Living Laser, I don't believe, has been seen since the previous volume for the book. Yes, when Chris Charles was in the book. He, of course, also started melting the face of Iron Man at the famous Founding Avengers statue, which the statue itself is a bit inaccurate. It's mostly classic Avengers, though Captain America was not founding a member of the Avengers, despite the fact some people at Marvel like to push for that. But no, he wasn't. He was the first recruit. Yeah, so Reeve apparently has got a new power thanks to the 10 Rings. This is sort of a continuation of Chris Chantwell stuff. Okay, really cool. I thought that was really nice of him to do that. Like, okay. Where's the tower thing in here? Let's see. Because I remember seeing that in here where they mentioned, like, what's his current status in here of the stuff he has. Here it is. Here's the original Stark. This was the Avengers Tower, which is owned by basically a character from Warlock, the Warlock from Nova, and it's never up again. Here's his Malibu house, which he owned it and he doesn't live there anymore. He apparently sold it at some point. Yeah, he apparently sold everything, which is strange. Oh yeah, then his replacement CEO gets killed, and then of course a new one takes over. He apparently got killed by some rogue repulsor ray. And by the way, Tony is not blamed for the CEO's death, despite getting along with him. Which I at least got to praise the fact they recognize that, yeah, Tony's maybe one who invents the repulsor stuff, but he's not the one who murdered him. Basically, he probably had an alibi for, of course, they don't question it. And they have this new guy coming part of the board, who, by the way, Rhodey's in the book too. He doesn't do very much. He breaks into a company and runs into, yeah, this is the whole thing where Tony Stark thing comes in. He's kind of defeated-ish, and, well, that's all in kind of wraps up issue 5 with this new alien, who, by the way, he's one of the aliens related to, like, the Guard or whatever, because they terraform Mars, and then the X terraform Mars for their own country. So, I found this to be quite interesting, and then, of course, then for some reason, they have Iron Man go to Krakoa to meet up with Emma Frost, who's here with armor. Here's something interesting, though, about Emma Frost. So, apparently, there's also a mention here, like, you remind me of somebody. He's like, I get that all the time. Probably because of the fact that her last name is Frost, and you might suspect she's related to Whitney Frost, Madame Mask, but she isn't. Nope, completely unrelated. Yes, and she refers to Iron Man as Darling, which I'm like, okay, that makes no freaking sense at all. Now you might be thinking, like, what was the first time Tony ever interacted with Emma? Maybe during Second Coming? I'm not sure. I'm not sure when they first interacted, but as far as I can tell for Emma, this is the first time she's ever appeared in this comic book before that I can think of, because most of it she's stuck in X-Men. Oh yeah, apparently there's also a gift from Tony Stark. And then we have the building of the Stark Sentinels, which, by the way, these are the Mark II ones because the original ones are built for access. Yeah. Which I enjoyed this opening story. And then we have a flashback to Avengers West Coast. Which, like, that was interesting. Yeah, I didn't really expect that at all. Who would have thought, though, about that? But, yeah, I really enjoyed these issues. This kind of explain how Tony first met Emma Frost. So kind of explain that. Which I found this whole first arc, these first 6 issues to be really good. I'm gonna give this book here I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was really good. I'll let hear my friend Edgar's thoughts about these first few issues. All right. So next up, we'll move on to the finale for Donny Cates' run for Hulk. And it is this finale, unlike with Thor, where it continued for a little bit after he wrapped up the run. This collected Hulk volume, I believe this is volume number 4, issues 9 to 14. Excuse me. And I thought it was quite strange, though, this book did not include the annual. Yes, there was the annual published right after this volume wrapped up. There was an annual published, and then we had Incredible Hulk. Not sure why the annual wasn't published here, but I thought that was kind of weird. Most with this Hulk planet storyline. We have Hulk going to this planet. And by the way, this is him just after the events of Hulk vs. Thor storyline, which is a cross between Hulk vs. Thor, Banner of War, which goes between this book and Thor. Which Thor, Donny was on there for about 2 or 3 more issues, and he left. And I was curious for a while why he left the book and this book too. Okay, before I continue with talk about the book, I should discuss basically of what happened to Donny. Why did he leave this book? Why did he abruptly leave the book and just came back to this book for one issue and left again? Okay, apparently came out last month when he was at San Comic Con. Apparently the reason why he disappeared from this book and Thor was because he got into a car accident. Yes, that was the reason why. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I'm like, you could at least said it before, but nope. Marvel goes, oh yeah, Donny Caul's had an accident. I guess they would keep a hush-hush because basically he's one of the big-name writers. I'm not sure why, though. I thought that was kind of weird. Most with the Hulk planet storyline, you have Hulk on this Hulk planet. We still have mentions of the opening story for this book, which was and of course we continue the whole thing of Hulk as the spaceship stuff. Yes, where we have various banners here. And here's the thing, though. Donny Caul's is on this book from issue 9. But he leaves with issue 10. And it comes back for issue 12. And then he's done for the book. Ryan Alley does sole writer and artwork duties for... He does the artwork for issue 11. By himself, writing the artwork. And the artwork... Yeah. Well, actually, does the inkers. But basically, he does his artwork. Yeah, mostly put this whole planet is kind of weird, where it's kind of a loose follow-up to that opening story where, like, oh, we have this alien planet. It's like basically a Hulk take on Planet Hulk, where like the whole planet is made of Hulks, and there's also a thing in here of like, should we do it? Yeah, let's smash. I thought that was kind of funny. Doctor Strange pops in this book, which I'm like, that was really weird. Yes, Doctor Strange pops up in Hulk. Where he is here for one reason, because I'm sure they're probably like Johnson's want to do anything with Starship Hulk. He wants that gone, because I'm sure he probably got hired to do Hulk as soon as basically stuff like he probably around. Look, I want you to get rid of the Starship Hulk book stuff. I want you to wrap it up in a nice, neat fashion, and of course, well, he does. And apparently, there's a nuclear reactor in Hulk's head, and like anything that basically was established in this book when it first started. It's kind of basically like all that stuff on top of his head, that's removed. Completely removed. And it kind of showed how the heck this was kind of like, ugh. And basically like rip his hair out and then rip his scalp. I'm like, what the heck is this? Ryan Donnelly, what is going on with you? Why the heck are you showing someone ripping their own scalp open, throwing their freaking brain? Like, you could have, I don't know, show this in shadow. Nope, let's show him like, rip, 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 rip. That's what he did. And he's not the other person I've seen do this. Apparently, some people in Marvel think this is funny to do this. The only character I've ever seen do this, where they rip their own freaking head open, a freaking brain, and still be alive, is the Sentry. Yes, Sentry did this once. And it's disgusting. Why the heck Ryan Donnelly thought this was a good idea? I have no freaking idea. I know Ryan Donnelly worked on Invincible. That's cool. I love Invincible. But it seems though you read this book, it's like reading Invincible. Let me show you something. Like, anybody's ever read Invincible? Like, tell like how he draws characters. Like, that is Bruce Banner. And you look at him like, who does he look like to you? He looks like basically Mark from Invincible. We have someone named Monolith. Yes, a woman named Monolith. Yeah. Yeah, it's a very abrupt storyline that does wrap up really quickly. And look here, look at this guy here. Does he with the outfit, does he look like a Vulturite? Yeah, he looks like a Vulturite. Like, I mean, looking at this, it's like Ryan Donnelly is basically taking cues from Invincible for this style of artwork. Well, because he drew the series. So, of course, basically, he took inspiration from that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so basically, they kind of wrap this up by removing all the metal stuff from his head. That's all removed. And then, basically, Bruce Banner just heals his head and creates a mind palace for him, and he's restored to normal. Leonard Samson is still Sasquatch, which of course they came that from the Al Ewing book. Deathspire is kind of like a villain in this book. Oh yeah, they followed up with the opening. Apparently, it was not Hulk response. Apparently, he was poisoned to do that. That's the reason why he acted that way. He was manipulated to do what he did in El Paso. Yeah, hey, look, here's Monolith basically in ripped clothing. Like, yeah, sexy alien lady. Which, I'm kind of glad the fact that you have Hulk you have this thing wrapped up in pretty neat fashion. Like the whole thing, his head is all completely healed. Like, he can still turn into Hulk, no problem, but it's kind of like, basically, like, Ryan Notley was told to reset Hulk to classic status quo when it comes to Hulk. He's basically like regular old Hulk. That's probably what happened here, but I don't know. But in the case of Donny Costa's very brief run, let's get the final thoughts on this run. This run was pretty weird, to say the least. And do I think it'll last longer? I don't know. I'm sure probably the reason why also Marvel decided to... they probably didn't have much faith in this story, this whole saga, very much at all when it comes to Starship Hulk. I'm sure probably did well in the sales. But my guess is once Don DeCosta has this accident, they're probably like, okay, we're going to wrap up this whole storyline, and then we're going to go back to what we know about Hulk. Yes. At least Hulk was doing perfectly fine. At least unlike the case of Amazing Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and Iron Man, where everybody's like hating on the main character for some reason. But this book, this one's been okay. Not as awesome as the Al Ewing run, which basically brought back Hulk to classic roots. This book was just really weird, to say the least. And it kind of felt like with this book, this was a step down from what normally Donny Colas was known for doing when it comes to writing books, because I love his books like his Venom book. I love that. I love his events he did, which was Damnation, Absolute Carnage, King in Black. The guy knew how to do really good stories, but this is probably one of his more weaker stories he's done. I haven't seen this whole story be this weak since he did Silver Surfer Black. And I thought that was okay at best. And I did enjoy also his Guardians of the Galaxy book. Yep, but yeah, that's pretty much a particular view. I might be able to do 2 more episodes of 5-Man. And I'll probably basically do that one review in a comic corner. I'll probably call it a night. Okay, let's do it. Bye.